They're not here already? Watch this, please. I don't mind any religion.
We've been telling you all about France's no-go zones, hundreds of Muslim-controlled areas around Paris that outsiders and cops don't dare to explore. They chose just to give it up. We have them here in the United States, too. I bet you did not know that. Nearly 2 dozen enclaves popping up across 9 different states. And watch what happens when a stranger or an outsider tries to step inside.
But your land is open to the public. I'm not being nice about it because I don't appreciate that. Way up here. Okay. Leave. Leave. Period. Don't say another word.
Yeah. They hit his car.
Joining us right now, the man behind that camera, founder and president of the Christian Action Network and author of Twilight in America, the untold story of Islamic training camps in America. Martin Moyer joins us right now.
Martin,
what was taking place right there? Where were you?
Well, we were in Red House, Virginia. It's an isolated community, as most of these compounds are located in rural areas, heavily wooded, inside of the mountainous areas. And what we wanted to do was challenge their open invitation to actually come onto these compounds and see whether they were peaceful or not. So we brought our cameras, we tried to get on, and this is how we got treated.
And quickly, this is the whole thing that we're seeing here. What goes on in these campuses? A lot of people say, hey, there are Jewish camps in this country, Christian camps in this country. Why can't we have a Muslim camp?
Because these are truly no-go zones. Unlike the ones in Europe, which I visited.
Because most religions don't tell you to kill somebody just because they don't believe you and you do.
You can walk in with your cameras, you can talk to people. But in these particular no-go zones, you cannot get into. They have gates, they have armed guards, they have security forces.
They're told in their Bible to befriend you and then kill you.
Into them, you're specifically told to leave these particular areas. And they're particularly dangerous.
And we're watching right now. Where are we taking?
You don't have to worry about this.
This is a video they put out for the people inside of the compounds so that they learn how to do terrorist-type training.
Think they won't do
they
this
teach them how to kidnap people, how to strangle them, how to kill guards, how to do guerrilla-type warfare training. And this is what goes on in these isolated no-go zones inside the United States.
In America, name some states, name some areas, because you also say they're affiliated with a Pakistani militant group.
Read The People versus Muhammad.
The group is called Jamaat al-Furqan.
That'll give you an idea of what their religion is. Seriously, The People versus Muhammad.
That is the guy that Daniel Pearl, Wall Street Journal, was hoping to interview and was arranging to interview when he was kidnapped and then later beheaded.
So name some towns, name some cities, name some states. Where are you?
We have them in Texas, Sweeney, Texas. We have them in York, South Carolina. We have them in Commerce, Georgia. We have them in Red House, Virginia. We have them in upstate New York. We have them in California. We have them in Michigan. They're scattered all around the United States.
So right now, when you call an officer and say, hey, wait a second, you got an enclave here. This is Islamic extremists being trained on our ground. What is the law enforcement's reaction?
They don't say nothing.
Well, the interesting thing about these camps, they're
even if they kill you, they don't say
very
nothing.
Rural areas of America, which has very small
Obama has a gag order on people. Don't you know that?
In these areas where, for instance, the one in New York, they have a total of 4 police officers.
I want you to hear what you say is a recruitment sound of a recruitment video.
Ask
fill up these camps. Listen.
Let's open our borders.
The Muslim joined one of the advanced training course in Islam. Or in Michigan, or in South Carolina, or in Pakistan, wherever we are, you can reach us.
If you are ever a Christian or non-believer, they will kill you no matter what.
It took about 4 years to actually locate that video. We knew it existed, and we had someone inside of a law enforcement department out of Colorado who snuck us the tape, and finally we were able to make it public.
FBI's reaction?
FBI's reaction is that, look, you know, they have the First Amendment and other American rights to operate these enclaves in the United States, regardless of the type of weapon training, guerrilla warfare training that's going on inside of them.
It's not okay with me, and it certainly doesn't seem to be okay with you. Martin Moyer, thanks so much, President and CEO of the Christian Action Network.
No, most religions don't train to kill people.
Thank you for letting me be here.
And we'll keep looking
at this. Think about that, people.
Islamic extremists. Recently, we asked Clarion to pinpoint for us 5 dangerous situations here in the USA. With us, Ryan Morrow, national security analyst for the Clarion Project. So you have many more than this, but we picked the top 5 that I think would be of interest. The first one is in Hancock, New York, about 145 miles northwest of Manhattan.
No proof of who these people are. You think I'm kidding?
There's actually a place there called Islamaberg. They have a sign that says, "Welcome to Islamaberg." It's about a 60-70
Dear leader
acre large
OMAMMA will
compound.
not let them
it's the headquarters for a group
check
called
anybody
Muslims
at
of
the
the
borders,
Americas
unless
that
you're white.
follows a radical cleric in Pakistan. The videotape that's on the screen is something that was given to me by law enforcement, showing them engaging in guerrilla warfare training at that Islamaberg compound.
Okay, so Islamaberg, upstate New York. They have weapons. It's private property.
Right.
All right. They're training on the property. Can the authorities do anything about it?
They're trained to hurt people off
Beyond
the property.
monitoring them, no, because they're not listed as a foreign terrorist organization. FBI documents that we've obtained do show that they consider them a threat. But because they don't have that designation, they're able to operate in the U.S. And we have a dozen.
Do you know how many people are up at this compound?
And that specific one, no, but the estimates of the number of members that this group has across the country, they say they have 22 of these places across the country, is somewhere around 3,000.
Training ground. Wow. All right, now we have the Dar el
Wakey,
Islamic
people.
Center in Falls Church, Virginia. What's going on there?
Right, a history of radical leadership over there. Anwar al-Awlaki used to be their imam before he went over and he joined Al-Qaeda. And there was even videotape that was taken of the current imam speaking recently in Virginia, where he specifically said that Muslims should be first in line to get the arms for jihad.
All right, so at this center in Falls Church, there's an imam there presently who wants to get arms for the jihad.
He preaches that is a requirement upon Muslims.
Wow. All right, the third one is one I mentioned last night in Brooklyn, New York, with John Stossel. It's the Masjid at-Taqwa Mosque. What's going on here?
That's led by Suraj Wahaj, one of the most radical imams in the country, yet he manages to be a rock star speaking at Muslim events across the country and college campuses.
He's going to be in Dallas this weekend in Garland, Texas for a big conference, and I brought that up to the imam we had on last night, who didn't seem to think this guy was so radical.
He didn't address that. He was addressing the issue of whether he's been prosecuted, which is a whole nother thing. If you look at what he's been preaching, it's sheer anti-Americanism, turning America into a